All right, let's get into it. I hope for your sake and my sake that these tutorials get shorter and shorter. Definitely with the hub views, that will be the case. So we are in our dashboard at the moment, and to access our hub views, what they are, let's go into the page to figure that out. So they are the areas, projects, tasks, and notes. These are the most simple views of all three of these things. Let's start with the areas. So to do with the areas, we have our menu over here tells us everything, basically. So again, we'll start from the top of the page. We have our dashboard navigation. We have our favorites menu over here. Just remember that. It's in all of the views. And we can click to see what these different pages are. And going into the breakdown of this, we have everything to do with areas in this little menu over here. So in the main pages, we have the OctaCore areas, which you've already found from the last tutorial, and you can see all of the main areas. But this is in a much more diverse view of how to view the main areas. So I can either view it with this over here. I can see it in terms of each different OctaCore area with a toggle like this, or I can see it in a board view like this to see everything at once. And if I press Control on my keyboard, if I hold that down and use the scroll wheel to zoom out, or I can do the same thing with the plus and minus buttons on the keyboard, I can expand this so that all of these areas show. So let's just pretend I had something in LifeForce there. I can make it so that I can see all of them at once. So I don't have to look at it. Let's go to 100% zoom. So it's not like cut off a little bit, which kind of annoys me sometimes. So remember that, hold Control and use the scroll wheel or the plus and minus buttons. Back to it, we can see our focus areas within all of these different OctaCore areas. And for us, it will definitely be intelligence because you're learning about Notion, learning about life game design. And finally, you can see a table view of all of these things and see all of the projects that are connected to it and all of the notes that are connected to it. And you can even go in and link, like manually link these things. So with training and weightlifting, let's say I wanted to manually link some notes to it, they would already be linked because these notes, if you know from the previous tutorial, are already created within the project. And if it's tied to the project, then how I've set it up is that it automatically relates it to the area. So realistically, I wouldn't need to do this, but if anything was missing, I would do it like that. Cool. You can also see it based on the status. So if you wanted to hide any of those areas or archive them, you just change the status here, put them in archive. Cool. I don't know why I did it down instead of starting from the top, but we did it anyway, I guess, because we covered OctaCore areas already. We can see the OctaCore areas in order of the acronym SPECIAL, which is Strength, Persistence, Experience, Creativity, Contribution, Intelligence, Attachment, and LifeForce. Boom. We can also see it by the attribute type. Now, the attribute type is whether these are essential to human fulfillment or they are elevating to human fulfillment. You'll get what I mean by just looking at what are categorized in here. Our physical health, our work, our close relationships, and our mental health are the most essential things to our fulfillment if we strip everything else away. But that is not the only those things aren't the only fulfilling things that we can get out of life. There's also things like persistence, our environment that we're in. There's also our experience, creativity, and intelligence, which is our learning, finance, and planning. Those are elevating to life. So if you need that reminder of what are the things in life that are truly going to fulfill you, this is it without a doubt from all of the research that I've done to create the system. There's also some other views that you can see here. Just see it in a board with these colored tabs. You can also come to the focus section. And just remember that now that we're in these different views, these hub views, utility views, short-term views, year and season views, I've hidden tutorials in every one of these main pages. You won't see it until I show you. Basically, if I zoom in on the page, it's within this toggle here. And the reason why I did that is because once you finish learning everything about it, I didn't want to have this thing here saying tutorial that you would eventually have to delete, and that looks really ugly. Instead, I've hidden it in these toggles here. So if you ever go to the title of the database that you're looking at, if you see this toggle, press it, and you'll be able to see the tutorial that's included with it. So let's just, now that I've actually shown you what this is about, actually let's focus on this because this is important, especially for the OctaCore areas. It says only shows OctaCore or the special pages. Do not create new areas or pages in here. It won't break the template, but it won't do anything to help you. Let's see what happens if I do. So I just created a new thing in there, and all I have to do is come here and delete it, and that's fine. Because it's annoying that these have the option to create. I can't turn that off myself at this point in time with Notion. So yeah, it will tell you about all these different views and tell you the reasons. It says here, do not create new areas or pages here. And like it says, it won't break anything, but if you do, then it won't be linked properly. So those are the in-page tutorials that is in all of these different views. So let's go to projects to see what an example of that would be. So here's our projects page, and it has the most simplistic, most used views that you would use to organize all of the projects in all the different areas of your life. And let's see what the tutorial says. It says this is a simplified view of projects, and remember proper structure when using table views. You are going to really learn this, and then once you do, it'll be so obvious to you once it's done. Basically, proper structure means that you do not put main projects inside of main projects. You only put sub-projects inside. Let's really zoom in so you can understand what I mean. This is incorrect structure, where I have a main project, then I have a sub-project, and a main project inside of it. The correct structure is having a main project and then having as many sub-projects as you want inside of that. The reason is when I create a sub-project within the main project, I can see all of the sub-projects in here. If I create a main project and have a sub-project there, I won't be able to see these within this view. A bit confusing for me to explain to you. Let me show you an example. So we've got this main project here, which is creating a new training program. And let me kind of screw this up by putting a main project template. And again, it's not really the end of the world. It just means that you won't see the information as it's supposed to be seen. So I'll make a sub project. I'll do something really bad and make sub projects in here. And I'll just call it as what will be seen. I can see this main project in the original main project. And I'll go here, and then I can't see this sub project. And this won't appear. Okay, cool. So I can see them when I'm in this section here, if you understand me. I can see that these are the sub-projects of this main project, but how it should work is that I will be able to see these in the original main project that says create a new training program. But if I go there, I will be able to see the main project as it says here. I can see this main project in the original I can see this main project in the original main project, but my other ones don't appear here, and that's because the cascading is incorrect. So if you really wanted to, you could, but again, the cascading won't be right, and especially with your notes and tasks, you won't be able to see them within the main project. So I very much recommend that you don't do that, especially if you are a new user to Notion. If you are a power user and you are understanding exactly what I mean, go ahead. Go ahead. Cool. So that is the projects view. It just shows you the focusing, actioning, and awaiting things, just to keep it really simple and show you all the stuff that needs your attention. This is separate from the vision board that you have, separate from the archives that you have, and separate from your achievements. Just shows you everything that is coming up right now. Again, if you want to go on the next level of that, use the Focus tab. Focus tab, really simple. You just see exactly what you need to be focusing on. You also see your recent achievements and just adjust the pictures of them like we did in the last video with this one. And you can see a gallery of it to really appreciate those memories that you've made. And you also see a week and a month calendar. And let's see what it looks like when you make projects in here. Basically, we have to remember that when we're making projects in views that aren't already organized by special, we have to select the template ourselves. So that means that I go into here, let's say for tomorrow, which is Wednesday, I've got a project coming up, strength main project, and remember that these are separated between subproject and main projects, and the ones that you're going to use the most are the main projects, so you can just select that. It will create a new main project, and this one is going to be called, God, I can't figure out what we're going to do tomorrow. What are we going to do tomorrow? Let's finish, or let's do a day. Let's bodybuilding competition. We're just instantly going to go into a bodybuilding competition. And so, yeah, now we have it here, and we can see and drag and drop the dates to adjust the dates, because honestly, I don't think I'd really do that tomorrow. I need a lot of training and prep before I do that. So it's even an exaggeration to put it into 3 days from now. But you get the point of it. I can either do that with the month or the week view. So I can go into here and be like, wow, I need a lot of time to prepare for this. So put it in here. And then this is really cool. I don't think I've shown you this before, so let's go a bit in depth. I can create a timeline of all of the projects that I have. And this table will allow me to, really easily set the date of those things. So let's clear the date first of these. So I'm just going to click onto that. I'm going to clear the date there. And you'll see that they'll start disappearing from that timeline once I've cleared the date. And this is the last one. Okay, I'll clear that. So from here, I've got this create a new training program. I can set the date of this project itself, or I can click the toggle to reveal the sub-projects and set the date of those. So if I've got a massive project that has to be broken down into sub-projects, like I've done with Life Game Design itself, I'll show you that in a bit. I can, come into here. Let's set the date for this. I'm going to create my new training program. Then I have the order of things I have to do. I'm just going to turn these into actioning for the sake of this, so that makes sense. So first I have to, number one, research the training styles. So I'll set the date for that for here. And let's say researching is going to take me 2 days. So I can, let me zoom in so you can really see that, hopefully. Ooh, it's getting ugly. Let me see if it's good for you to check out. Okay, that's good. If I go into the edge of here and you see my mouse cursor change a bit, I can use that to drag these side to side to extend or decrease the amount of days they take, and do it in both directions. How I'm scrolling side to side is holding shift and my mouse wheel to do that. So I'm gonna make this make sense. And I'm gonna drag this, let's say it's gonna take me 3 days, so I'll set that for 3 days. And then creating my program is gonna take me 2 days on the weekend over here. These strips are the weekend, these grayed out strips. And then testing out the program is going to take me a whole week, because let's say it's a 5-day program. And then, yeah, it will automatically set the date and give me a hierarchy of how that's gonna work. And if I achieve something, it will stay there. So I can see a timeline of this whole project that I've got going on, and I can hide it as well using this toggle, because I'll show you my own example of what that looks like, because the timeline is a really good way to understand how you're going to do and manage everything in your life. So the first thing you want to do is minimize these other tabs and just manage it by the focusing stuff. So for example, I'll show you the journey of what it's been like. And this may overwhelm you, but having this has really helped me. This is the journey since February, or the end of January, of launching this third version of the app, where I've broken it into all of these different sub-projects, because there's been so much. And this just shows me, one, the timeline of everything that's happening, and my progression with everything. So to make it less overwhelming, remember, we can use this to close that toggle. And let's see what I've got for now. This is the launch of what I've got going on. So I can see the sub-project progress that is indicated by the ring, and I can also see the progress of the tasks that I have within here. And there may be some projects that I don't have tasks for that I've just achieved, and that's fine too. And yeah, I can move this over here, because this is actually something I'm going to do tomorrow. And I can see that for the next 2 weeks, I'm going to be tweaking everything in this alpha version of the template right now. It says alpha 2, but it should be alpha 3. There we go. So that is the timeline, which is a really powerful time blocking feature, because I can see it with all the other things in my life. I can see it with the book that I'm reading. I can see that I have a catch up with my best friend in this day. So it means that while it's important for me to time block the things that I really want to do in terms of passion projects, it's also important for me to remember the social obligations that I have, and to have them all in the same space, so I don't have to go and look at my calendar app and then come to here to see if I'm actually making enough time for me to do all these things. So that is that's the powerhouse of the projects. So let's go to the original. We're going back to the original template that you will have, not my example. And let's go into tasks. Now tasks is quite the same, but a bit more simple. And these last bits we will wrap up really fast, because I can see we're almost at 20 minutes. So again, you have your list of things. So if you, basically how I use this is that I put everything that I'm doing today into focus, if I can. And that means that when I come to this page, I can just see all of the tasks that I need to do today and just get them done. I can also see a list of the recent achievements that I've done here, or a list of them. And again, the same thing with the time blocking, have a week and a month view of all of the tasks. When I'm doing serious deadlines, I put them in projects and set reminders for them. But if it's something small, I will put them in my calendar. So that's it for tasks. I can also see from this menu all the things to do with tasks in all of the other views. Now, at the start, you wouldn't really need to worry about this, but once you get comfortable, once you've finished all of these tutorials, you're going to be like, oh, okay, I want to see all of the tasks to do with my short-term views. I want to see all of today's tasks specifically. And you can instantly do it from this page if you end up coming to this simplified version of tasks. But again, that is for more power users who understand the whole scope of everything that you can do in this app. Cool, let's wrap up with notes. And it's the same thing. I can see everything to do with notes in all of these different views. And let's see what notes looks like. Again, this will show you the tutorial, the in-page guided tutorial of what all of these icons mean by clicking these drop downs. But since we're here together, I can tell you. So it will show me all of my recently edited notes. You see this one is at the bottom. Let me zoom in a bit. You see this one is at the bottom. As soon as I add something to it, it will go to the top. I just press the space bar and it goes to the top. So this categorizes your notes by everything that you've just recently edited, which is really handy because it will show you all the stuff that you've just used. You can also see the same thing as a list like this. You can see the notes that you have in focus. Again, from our previous tutorials, we set our animated GIF wallpapers to this focus. And then we can quickly select and change the note type of the things that we have in here. Remember that everything starts as an idea, and it's our choice to put it into these different categories if that helps us organize everything. The same thing with our OctaCore distribution. Now, the reason why these are so big is because I don't want you to try and drag and drop it and go like this. That is very inefficient. You're going to need to use these over here. You're going to go find the special and change it like this. So if I wanted to change this to experience quickly, I can do that instead of trying to, especially if it's in a thing that I can't see. So maybe this is a LifeForce note to do with my mental health instead for some reason. I can just instantly click it over there, and then let's swap it back to strength, instantly push it back over there. Cool. Same thing with links. You've seen the power of this, you know how to use it. And I can see all of my notes in terms of all the statuses over here. Sweet. And I think we covered this OctaCore page either earlier in this tutorial or the last one, but basically it shows you that same thing, but all of them all at once in the most expanded views. So, wrapping it up, just over 20 minutes, not too bad, but I think we can do better hopefully for the next one. I'll see you either in our community, sharing how I use my own life game design and interacting with whatever you guys have to share, or I'll see you in the next video. Thank you so much.